This is how I make mouth-watering curry with 6 simple ingredients. Today I'll be using whipping cream, chicken stock, grated carrots, yellow onions, boneless pork butt, golden curry blocks. I start by cutting the pork butt into 1-inch strips, leaving the fat cap on. The fat is going to help elevate the flavor of the final product. If I am unable to get pork butt from the butcher, I will use pork shoulder as a replacement. Once I have all the pork cut into strips, I can now cut them into 1-inch cubes. Cutting the pork into the same size cubes helps with even cooking and ensures a consistent texture for the dish. As I cut the pork butt into cubes, I'll place them into a bowl to help keep my cutting space open. Heat a pan over medium-high and add canola oil. Once the pan starts to smoke, add in the pork cubes, making sure to sear them on all sides. Make sure that the pan isn't overcrowded when searing the pork. Doing too much at once will cool the pan, leading to no caramelization of the meat. Typically, it will take me 4 or more batches to sear and get this amount of meat done. Transfer the finished pork into a pressure cooker in between batches. Now that I have all my pork in my pressure cooker, I'm going to find my fill line located on the inside of my pot and cover the pork with chicken stock. If you don't have a pressure cooker, you can use an instapot or a slow cooker. The cooking time will vary depending on what I use. Seal the pressure cooker and place it on the rear element over medium heat, leaving it to cook for 60 minutes. While the pork is cooking, I will prepare the vegetables. Starting with finely grating and dicing carrots in a food processor. I want to make sure that the carrots are almost like a pulp before I transfer them into a bowl. Next, we're going to finely dice the onions. You're going to want these to be in a more liquefied state. Now heat a pan over medium-high heat, adding some oil, and we're going to saute off the carrots and onions. Make sure when you're sweating off the carrot and onion mixture that you equally put in scoops of 1 scoop of carrots to 1 scoop of onions. You're going to want to do about 1/4 of a pot at a time, and you're going to saute them for about 10 to 15 minutes per batch. This is going to take about 2 to 3 batches. It will take about 45 minutes in total. If you feel confident enough doing 2 pots at a time, this will greatly increase the speed. You can even add a little bit more into each pot. You might be able to get it done in 2 pots. Should be about 15 minutes in total. After cooking off the vegetables, I will add the remaining chicken stock between both of the pots and let simmer over low heat for 2 to 3 hours. It is very important that when working with a pressure cooker to let it depressurize before removing the lid. Grab a spoon and check that the pork is tender to touch. It should fall apart when you grab it with your fingers. Transfer the pork and stock from the pressure cooker to the vegetable mixture that is simmering. Try and evenly distribute the pork and stock between both pots for even consistency. I will continue simmering this for another 2 to 3 hours, after which time removing it from the stove and cooling it down and refrigerate it overnight. Today I will be using S&B Golden Curry blocks. Another popular brand I like to use when I am unable to find this brand is Glico Curry. I use 1 hot and 1 mild curry block for each pot that I'm cooking, breaking into cubes before I add them. Removing the curry from the refrigerator, bring it up to a simmer over medium heat, adding in the curry blocks. I like to reduce the heat to low at this point until the curry blocks are fully incorporated, making sure to stir consistently, avoiding any burning while the curry thickens. Now that the curry has thickened, I need to portion them into containers and freeze them overnight. Freezing will help break down the fibers in the curry for a smoother texture. I am using 1 liter containers for portioning, which will give me 4 portions per container, a total of 32 servings for this recipe. Taking out 1 container of curry from the freezer, I'm going to bring it to a simmer in a medium pot. For every 1 liter of curry, I will be adding 125 milliliters of heavy whipping cream. Stirring until incorporated, reduce the heat to low, simmer for 5 minutes. This will help thicken the curry, giving it a creamy texture. And there we have it, a 3-day curry that's sure to get everybody inviting themselves over for dinner. Today we're serving this over rice, but there's always side dishes that you can do with this. One of my personal favorites is a tonkatsu, which is a pork cutlet. Or throw on some cheese curds if you're feeling a little bit Canadian. If you like this video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more content, such as mouth-watering Japanese hamburger steak or succulent karaage chicken in under 20 minutes. Click here to see more videos. Thanks for watching.